Alright, today we're working on this violin bow frog. Repairing a piece that's broken off. This is a Beebe bow. I don't know if you can see it right there. It was cracked, which is why this extra ring was added on the end here. It's a crack right along there. And right along the back, right where the stamp is that says Beebe. Anyway, handmade, Muskegon, Michigan, probably around 1910 or 20. See, it's a handcrafted screw and ferrule. But what happened was this edge broke off on both sides, and some amateur tried to fix it with plastic wood, which is what all this stuff is. So we already did the one side, but you can see this is useless. It just pops right off. And it doesn't look right either. Oh, there we go. We got rid of all the plastic wood. And you can see there's a big gap there. So what we'll do is clean that out. Get it perfectly straight and clean. And we'll make sure it's trued up square and flat. And filing it there, get a nice flat straight edge. And we'll take this off. This was to protect the bow when we glued the new piece of ebony in, which you can see right there. Okay, we're working on this frog from the Beebe violin bow. I forgot to show you the tip. It's a little different than your standard tip. Kind of a 90-degree almost at the back. Well made though. Nice Pernambuco stick, silver winding. Anyway, we got this glued on here. This repair. This we're still preparing. Not quite ready for the another piece to be added there. We removed the plastic wood. Now we're going to trim this. We have a nice soft cushion here. And we're just going to cut the excess off with this nice flush cutting saw, Japanese. Ooh, it's kind of hard to get lined up there with the camera. There we go.
Nice sharp cut-off saw, Japanese made. So of course we put a piece of newspaper beneath it to catch the ebony sawdust, because we don't want to breathe that in. It can be carcinogenic. Ebony's pretty hard. We don't want to apply any pressure. We want to knock off the piece you just glued on. So I'm holding it, basically all the pressure is down on the piece of wood that's glued in, not on the joint.
There we go. Now to cut this piece here, we're going to have to remove the eyelet so we can cut it. It's a very short eyelet too. Well, we could cut this piece off. Normally I would take the hair out, but looks like pretty new hair. As long as we can get around it, we should be fine. Yeah, we can get in there and cut it from this direction here. But first I'm going to cut that way, but so we can get the right height. So we'll take this eyelet out. Being careful not to hit the sides. They're very thin slide there, and we'll want to make sure that's nice and flat too, which it's not perfectly flat there, so we'll make sure that it is before we glue the new piece on. Meanwhile, let's get this started. And we'll only do one side at a time, otherwise it gets in the way. You have to have nice, plenty of room to maneuver. There we go. Put that up there so we don't get lost. Now we'll make this, we'll cut this right along that edge there. Alright, today we're working on the Beebe violin bow frog again. We've got the one chunk carved down somewhat on this side, trimmed off. We'll do some final work on that with the chisel and the round file. And this side here, you can see we still got that big chunk that we added on there. So we got to cut that down like we did on the other side. Thought I'd show you this little block we got, tri-cornered block. It has many uses. But in this case, we want to set this edge of the ebony right on the top there, so when we're sawing, all the pressure goes right on the ebony. There's no pressure on the joint there, so we don't want that glue to come apart. And you got to be very accurate. And you can see how close I'm cutting that. That cuts it nice and straight, removes a lot of wood. I've already been doing this for a little while here, just about finished cutting through. Once again, I'm using a nice sharp Japanese cutoff saw. This block is leather lined. Joichi Maru. Oh, I just cut that out. There you go. It's a big chunk there. Now the rest of that I will remove with the chisel. Again, this would be easier without the hair on it, but yeah, it's still quite a bit of wood there. But it comes off pretty quickly if you get a nice sharp chisel. And of course we'll have to replace the eyelet here. I should say the eye. This is the eyelet. And we'll get some mother of pearl that's very similar to this one. Stick it in there. The other one, the old one, was broken. But as you can see, that's going to be, take some more chiseling and get her down to the right thickness and curvature. Like this side here is pretty close. Once we get her done, we'll show it to you, see how it came out. Hopefully it'll be next to invisible. Thanks for watching. And you can see the underslide is original. Kept that nice and straight. Actually, we straightened it out. It was a little crooked in spots. Polished up the metal trim. You can see it's handmade though. There's a solder joint there. A little pin there. Screws here. Which is unusual. Usually the French, they'll use pins in both places. This has got a pin here and screws there. Screws is more German. Not that it matters, whatever holds it in place. So we do have a small problem with the stick here that was cracked and repaired. The ring was added here. Same type of ring that goes on the frog to reinforce it. There's the label. I don't know if you can see that very well. It says Beebe, and there's the crack, or one of them. But other than that, it's in good shape. It's a nice strong stick. It looks like the original silver winding. And we always nice to lubricate those with a little cork grease. Especially been sitting around for years. A lot of people like to use beeswax instead of cork grease. Either one is fine. There you have it, the finished Beebe bow frog repair. Thanks for watching. I also forgot to mention almost that we also used files, of course, when we were shaping the frog. Get that nice and perfectly flat. And just reveal the very little edge of that silver slide or underslide or path, it's also called. Originally bows didn't have those. It was just ebony. But they kept breaking, which is why they added that. But of course we used round files as well to get in there. Medium and fine. You can use sandpaper, twisted. Anyway, standard woodworking tools, you get it to the right shape. Hand work. Can't really do that with a machine, although I suppose you could use a Dremel on some of it. But just as easy to use hand tools. There you go. Alright, we finished up this nice Beebe violin bow. You saw most of what we did earlier. There was an eyelet missing. So we got a bag of old eyelets. Found one that was close. And the same type of mother of pearl. And you have to keep filing it till it gets just the right diameter, because none of them are the same. So we did that. We glued that in with some hot glue. Let it dry overnight. And we finished carving that out with the chisel, which we showed you the other day. And then we used our knife and scraper. Scrape that, get a nice round shape there. Or your knife sometimes is the right curvature in certain places. Chisel it around there. And smooth it down with some sandpaper, 200 and 400 and 600 and 1500 or 3000. Get it nice and smooth so it's almost buffed. And as you can see, it came out pretty nice. And you can barely see the line there where the goes right along there. And on this side, oh, it's so very hard to see. But I left it a little meatier right here, a little thicker than it was before, because that's where your thumb rusts, and that'll wears out with time. So that's one of the reasons that broke. And we'll take a look at the end profile. That's important.